Hi, good morning everyone. Welcome to my first video demonstration exercise. Well, it's the first time I'm doing this, so just please bear with me. But just before I begin what the exercise or movement I'm going to do to demonstrate, let me just introduce you to this little space of mine. This is a little small corner that I have in my living room that I actually do my workout. As you can see, I have the weights. Last time I used to use this corner to practice my body pump choreography. Now that I don't teach body pump anymore, I don't really use this space except for some stretching and things like that. Saying in my Instagram story, today I'm going to share with you a little bit some of the movement that you can do that will actually help boost your immunity. Alright, so to begin with, your parasympathetic nervous system is something that will actually help your body to recover, to heal, to rest. So at this point in time now, most of us are quote unquote stuck at home or not sure really what to do, other than doing all the home workout, which is essential, which is important. I'm not saying that they are not important, but there's the other side of the coin that we have to look after as well, which is our recovery. How do we activate our parasympathetic nervous system, right? Basically, very simply, first and foremost, what we need to do is breathe. We need to breathe, right? When you're saying, hey Jonathan, everyone is breathing, what's so special about that? Well, there's a different kind of breathing we call parasympathetic breathing that will actually activate that nervous system to get the body to start healing or to rest by itself. So first and foremost today, I'm going to share with you how to do a parasympathetic breathing. Right? So if you can, just follow me. Just sit down, cross your leg, or just get really comfortable and just breathe for now. Right? Breathe in through your nose and breathe out through your mouth. Alright, so that is basically starting with parasympathetic nervous system breathing. Simple as that, right? So breathing through your nose and breathe out through your mouth. Take about 4 counts to breathe in, 8 counts to breathe out. And breathe in. Breathe out. Breathe in. Breathe out. Right. So as you're breathing in, what I need you to do is just kind of like breathe in to your tummy. If you want to, the better way to feel it, that you're breathing correctly, is to, as you're breathing in, you feel your chest over here, your rib cage is actually expanding sideways. Breathing itself going sideways, your rib cage going sideways, and breathe out. So you can feel your rib cage going there. So as you are feeling that itself, that movement of your rib cage expanding to the side, you are actually doing parasympathetic nervous breathing or diaphragmatic breathing. Sorry about that. First time doing this, I'm getting a bit tongue-tied. So if you get that, great. If you don't, no worries. Practice, make better. I wouldn't say make perfect because none of us can really be perfect, but practice, make it better. So just try to do that, right? So that is the first movement that I like to share with you of doing that in terms of getting the parasympathetic nervous system activated to rest. You can do this early in the morning when you wake up, before you start off reading off all the news or open up the laptop to do replying emails or things like that to get you all the your central nervous system so worked up, right? So do this to calm yourself down before you start your day, or at the end of the day before you go to sleep. Do this because especially if you can't sleep that well at night, I would strongly suggest that you do this because I used to have insomnia. I used to wake up numerous times in the night when I'm sleeping, or my sleep wasn't really that fantastic. Every time I find it difficult to fall into sleep, or every time I have a bit of issues and things like that, and ever since I learned to do this, my sleep has been so much better. Alright? So that's number 1. Number 2, things that I want to share with you today is, like I mentioned in my Instagram, is some simple stretches. There's the whole entire body, there's just so many muscles groups, so many joints that we can do. So I'm not going to do all at once. So today I'm just going to do 2 exercises or 2 simple stretches all about our foot. Our foot itself basically is something that we have neglected for most part of our life. We have been focusing on the arms, on the chest, on the quads, on the glutes, maybe a bit on the calves, but hardly we actually stretch our foot. But yet, it is so important for the foundation. Literally, it is the foundation of the whole entire body. It's our foot. And if we pay attention to it, the rest of the body will be better. Alright, so to start it off, we start off with the foot. How do we stretch the foot? But even before that, I start off with the toes. How do you stretch the toes? Simply toes and foot together. So what you need to do, so if you can see me, I'm just trying to lower down a bit more. So have your knees on the mat, alright, hip width apart, having your foot behind you, and then at the same time, tuck in your toes, like what I'm doing right now. Hopefully you can see that. Over here, tuck in your toes, and what you're trying to do from here, with both hips square to the front, I need you to slowly sit down towards your heel, and then sit back up. Now, if you're doing this exercise, right, if you're doing this movement, this stretch before you exercise, do what I'm doing right now, basically is go down for about 2 seconds and then come back up. So this is what most of us call dynamic stretching, because we don't hold it isometrically. We're just going to let it go and up and release. Alright? So as you're doing this, don't forget, you can do this. If you're doing this stretch for recovery, after exercise, after workout, for your foot, this is what you can do. Take the deep breath in, as you're going down, breathe out, and hold there and maintain your breathing. 4 counts in, 8 counts out. 4 counts in, 8 counts out. That itself, 12, 12 is 24, almost 30 seconds. It's a good stretch for the foot and the toes. Alright? So that is one of it that you can do. So, but what happens if, say for example, like what I'm having right now, is I had an injury to my right big toe and I can't really go down fully. Doesn't matter. Like what I demonstrated just now, I can't really go fully. Your aim is to be able to do this from here, right? The aim is to get the bum all the way down towards the heel, which I can't because I'm feeling the pain at my big toe. So don't force it. Slowly do it on a gradual basis. You'll be able to bring it down all the way. So if I were to show you the other side, I can actually have my left bum reaching my hip, but that will be actually unbalanced kind of stretching. I want to balance on both sides, and so I'm just going to sit down and stretch to the point before the pain comes on. Hold it for 30 seconds, and then I'm going to come back up. Go back in again, or rather go back down. Before the pain comes on, I go back. That's right. So the range of motion may be a bit limited for whatever restrictions that you may have. I guarantee you this, if you keep on doing this stretch, sooner or later you'll be able to get it down all the way. And for myself, I haven't been really that faithful in my stretching, so that's why I can't really get down, but let's work towards to get it down all the way for a really good stretch. Now after a good stretch, what I'd like you to do is have a walk. Feel how so different that you feel in your foot. Especially if you're going for a run or going for a walk. And feel, because when you stretch your foot, and your foot is basically where it helps you to propel you when you walk and when you run. Feel the difference and let me know by private messaging me, see whether if it helps you. And also if you're doing this in the middle of the day, after a workout or things like that, it's important to have a sip of water to make sure that you are well hydrated for all the joints and myofascia that runs from the bottom of our foot all the way to our head, for it to be nimble and mobile. Alright? So that is just one thing. The other thing about the foot itself is also about our ankle, and this is what I like to show you, how you stretch your ankle. So with that, so what I need you to do is, now because of this camera height and to show the foot, I'm just going to bend down a little bit more. Okay? So at an angle to show you. So what you need to do is have the foot right in front of you, knees, one knee's down, the other knee's right hip width apart. From here, I want you to slowly drive your hip forward so that your knees are driving forward as well, but keep the heel stable, or rather keep the heel on the floor, don't move. So lean sideways so you can see better. So from here, Okay, so get the hip square towards the front, drive the hip forward, keep the heels down until you feel the stretch at the ankle. This is actually stretching the ankles for mobility and back. If you realize if you're doing this stretch, there are a few other things that you are stretching at the same time. If let's say you're rushing for time, this is what you can do. Behind, you see what I've done to this foot over here. I tuck in my toes. So what I'm doing is I'm really stretching my toes, stretching my foot. And I'm doing this. So you want to stay in front. This is where you can drive forward. I'm stretching my ankle. I'm stretching my hip flexor over here. And I'm also stretching my foot. If I want to stretch further for my foot, I'm just going to go down the other side. Now I'm really stretching my foot and my toes. And then I'll go back up. Forward. Make sure to keep the heels grounded. Don't let it lift up. Bring it down. Stay down. Anytime you feel that you're going forward until the heel comes out, that means you stretch beyond that. Bring it down. Okay? And then bring back. So I've done on one side. I'm going to demonstrate the other side. Just to make sure it's balanced. From here, same thing, tuck in the toes, square my hip, drive my hip forward, keep my heels down to the point it stays, just to stretch my ankles towards the front, and bring it back. Sit down, stretch my toes and my foot. Bring it to the front. Bring it back down. And release. So the ankle, we just stretch the front portion of that, or what we call the dorsiflexion. Alright, so now we're going to do the plantar flexion. That's stretch. Simple, straightforward. From here, instead of tucking your toes, make sure your toes, toenail touching the floor, and then from here, stretch it out. Stretch, try to sit down. Not everybody can do this. Don't worry about it. As I said earlier on, practice, make it better. So every now and then just stretch it. If you can't hold for too long, come back up and then drive back down again, just to stretch the plantar flexion of the ankle. So with that, I hope you learned something today. We start off with the foot today. Tomorrow, or maybe the day after, I'll do a video for the rest of the legs itself before we move on to the rest of the body. Okay? And I'll share with you some other things that you can do for activating your parasympathetic nervous system. If you're not sure what exactly is a parasympathetic nervous system, go Google. Ask Mr. G. He's the best teacher that you can get. Alright? So, otherwise, drop me a private message and I'll share with you a little bit more about parasympathetic nervous system and also malfunction. Important for us to know about our human body, how our body moves before we begin all our exercise. Right? So with that, I'll see you in the next video.